and welcome to Misinformation, where you'll receive information that you likely missed on the mainstream media. So, we've been hearing a lot since the very beginning of this whole ordeal. Hey, you just need to trust the science. But my question to you is, which science should we be trusting? Is everything that we're hearing on Fox and CNN and MSNBC all that there is to know in order to make this decision about our health? I would argue that no. We're not hearing everything that we need to hear. And I'm going to show you one example of that. I happened to come across a report from the UK that the government is producing weekly to show the effectiveness of the injection. And I'm going to share a couple of pages of that report with you just so that we can look over the information together. I think that it's produced by a reliable source, and I think it might help us to see what's going on here. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at page 13 of this report. And this particular page is showing the number of cases of CVD in unV'd people versus people that are fully V'd, okay? So we look at the first row and we see that people under 18 years of age, that the ones that are not V'd, there's 336,893 people that contracted CVD versus 818 who are fully V'd who contracted CVD, okay? I think that's a fair number considering that most people that have received the V are over the age of 18. It was just recently approved for younger than that, okay? Let's look at the next row. 18 to 29 years old, we have 24,000 who have 24,097 who are not V'd and received CVD versus 33,649 who were completely V'd. Okay, so this is a little bit alarming because we see for the first time that there are actually more people who are completely V'd who contracted CVD than the ones who were not V'd. Let's see how this trend continues. Ages 30 through 39, 25,832 not V'd contracted CVD versus 71,492. Oh my goodness, that's almost 3 times as many people who are completely V'd, yet they contracted CVD. What's going on here? Is the V maybe not working so well? Okay, let's look again. 40 through 49. We have 15,717 people not V'd, but they contracted CVD versus 130,686 people who are fully V'd and contracted CVD. Mind you, this report is coming from the government of UK themselves, okay? This is not some fluke report. 50 to 59, 6,701 people not V'd versus 99,722 who are fully V'd. 60 through 69 years old, 2,484 who are V'd versus 56,779 who are fully V'd and contracted CVD. Are we seeing a problem here? We seeing that people who are fully V'd seem to be contracting CVD at a higher rate than the people who aren't V'd. So what's the purpose of the injection in the first place? Now, I don't even have to go through the last couple of rows. You can look at it yourself. I'll go ahead and put this in the description so that you can pull up the full report. But many people might say, well, you know what? It's not a matter of contracting the CVD. What happens is that when you are fully V'd, you get it, the symptoms are milder and you're less likely to die. Okay. Well, we're going to look at page 16 of this report to see if that indeed is the case. Page 16 shows people that had deaths from CVD within 60 days of testing positive. Okay. So again, under 18, the injection is relatively new, so this is not going to be a great comparison, but we'll look at it anyway. Under 18 years old, 7 people died who were not V'd from CVD versus 0 who were fully V'd. Obviously 0 because there just really aren't too many people under the age of 18 getting V'd in the first place. 18 through 29. 9 people died who were fully V'd versus 5 who were V'd. Okay. Maybe in this case, the V seems to be helping a little bit, but only by 4 people. So it's not a great benefit. It doesn't seem. 30 through 39 years old, 24 people died who were not V'd versus 9 who were fully V'd. Okay, that may be a plausible case. But let's look at the next row, 40 through 49. 56 people died who were not V'd versus 46 who were fully V'd. Again, it doesn't really seem like it's helping much. As a matter of fact, it seems like it's more of a benefit not to be V'd. Okay, 50 through 59, 104 people died who were not V'd versus 126 people who were fully V'd. More people died who were fully V'd between the ages of 50 and 59 than the ones who were not V'd. 60 through 69, 157 not V'd versus 355 who were fully V'd. Almost twice as many people between the ages of 60 and 69 who were fully V'd died from CVD than the ones who decided, you know what, I'm not getting V'd at all and caught CVD. 70 through 79, 131 people died who were not V'd versus, get this, 822 people who were fully V'd. Again, are we seeing a pattern? So the argument that the V prevents you from getting CVD seems to be nil if you look at the first report, the first page of the report. And then the second one we just reviewed totally debunks the argument that the V prevents you from getting it more severely, okay? We don't see that that's necessarily the case. So we're taking an experimental injection that we have no idea what the long-term effects are and hoping that it's going to help us to not get CVD or at least help us to not die from CVD. And that doesn't even seem to be the case according to this report from the UK. And mind you, this is not the only report that's like that. Israel is seeing the same type of reports. Singapore is seeing the same type of reports. So when people say trust the science, again, I ask, well, which science should we be trusting? Because we have Fauci, who is promoting the science that says, hey, just go take the injection. It's going to be great for you. There's no problem with it. But by the same token, he's running an organization in which he is being investigated for promoting gain of function research. And for those of you who don't know what that is, gain of function research is where they basically take a sickness, a virus, and see if they could create new ways to make it even more deadly. One experiment that's been in the headlines most recently that he's been a director over is where they've taken beagles and they've put helmets over their heads and then filled the helmets with sandflies that eat the flesh off of the face of the beagles, and they die subsequently. But while they're receiving that kind of torture, they decided to cut their vocal cords so that they don't have to hear the yelps of the puppies. Okay. So these are the people that I'm supposed to be trusting about my own health. I don't think so. Then we have Bill Gates, who clearly was a promoter of these V's, and he's been one of the main people pushing it, but he's been being investigated for his association with Epstein. Then we have Biden, who is obviously a big proponent of everybody getting these V's, but he's got dementia basically, and we can see that through pretty much every interview and interaction that he has on TV. So I'm not going to be trusting the science of those individuals without researching these things for myself, especially when they're trying to put it not only in me and my husband, but in my children. And at the same time, when they're threatening the jobs of people who are not complying or who have questions about this, they're threatening the livelihoods in such a way that if they're concerned about the well-being of those individuals, have they thought about the fact that some people may be losing their entire homes, may be out on the streets, and may not even have food to feed their families? Something's not jiving here. Something's not making sense. And so we have to think for ourselves. Yes, science is great, but we have been given a mind to where we can look at the evidence and we can make decisions for ourselves. Now, whether you're for the V or you're not for the V, you know what? It really doesn't matter to me. But we need to understand that when individuals are questioning things, there's some legitimacy to it. And no government has a right to mandate what goes into our bodies. All right, guys. Well, I hope that y'all have a wonderful rest of the day. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.